right, folks, let me welcome you this evening. Thank you for attending this, a scheduled Greer City Council meeting called and convened this evening, October the 8th, 2019. Having called the meeting to order, I'd like to ask if you would please to stand with us for our Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be followed by an invocation for council led by Council Member Judy Albert.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving us this day. We ask you to be with us this evening, to guide and direct us. Let us hear your word, dear Lord, and let us know which direction you would have in our life and what you would have us do. We thank you again for all your goodness and your blessings. We thank you for placing your safe hands over our city. And we ask you to be with us again this evening. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Ms. Duncan, anybody to appear in public forum this evening? Oh, excuse me. Should have looked up, shouldn't I? Let's try that again. Ms. Adams, anyone to appear in public forum this evening?
No, sir.
We want to thank Ms. Adams for filling in for Ms. Duncan. Council, you've got the minutes of the council meeting from September 24th, 2019 meeting. I'll entertain a motion that be received.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any items of note for the clerk this evening? Hearing none. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Arrowood.
Yes.
Mr. Griffin.
Yes.
Ms. Booker.
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Ms. Albert. Yes. Mayor Danner.
Yes. Mr. Diggers, your administrator's report is next on our agenda this evening, sir.
Thank you, sir. Only a couple of items. One is to let you know that we met earlier this week and have begun the process of our employee classification and compensation study. As you may recall, we appropriated resources in this year's budget for us to do that survey and study this year. We will be completing that work by the first of the year, and we'll be prepared to bring a report to you from the results of that at your annual planning retreat that we will be setting the date for soon. But that will be available for you when you meet in early in 2020. So that's underway. A couple of calendar items I want to make you aware of. We are doing another food truck rollout here at City Park. That will be taking place on Friday, October the 18th. Those are very popular events here in the community. We get great turnout for those. I would love to see you join many members of our community here in the park for that event. As a reminder, our next council meeting is on October 29th. That is 3 weeks from tonight. We delayed that 1 week. I'll be attending a conference for ICMA during that period that we would have normally met, and you graciously agreed to allow us to move that back 1 week to October 29th. We'll send a reminder before, because I know it's kind of auto-response for many of us on that second and fourth Tuesday, but we'll be on the 5th in October this time. As an update for our Synergy project, I do want to make you aware that things are moving along. We're a little bit ahead of schedule, and we feel really good about that. Weather has been extremely cooperative for us. We are completing work on the 100 block of Trade Street. Did a pretty large concrete pour yesterday afternoon. Again, this morning, we have a very large concrete pour that will be taking place on Thursday of this week, all in preparation for brick pavers to be going down in the 100 block. Once we've completed that work, we'll be in a position to prepare it for a soft opening for traffic in that area. As we prepare to do that, we'll also then be preparing to pave the lower end of the street at the 300 block. We're hoping that the week of the 21st of October, or probably that week or the week immediately after that, depending on weather conditions. But we do intend to get the remainder of asphalt down on the 300 block in that area, and then we'll also be paving Randall Street, except for the intersection of Trade and Randall. We'll be holding that off until the final part of the project because we have some ornamentation inside those intersections that we will do at the end of the project. But again, on schedule, moving extremely well, a little bit ahead. We finalized some decisions for some Christmas decorations, new Christmas decorations that will be taking place, being installed on Trade Street as well. We finalized that actually earlier today and are issuing those purchase orders. So we think you'll be very, very pleased as we get that street open, all of Trade Street open for the Christmas holiday shopping season, as we made that commitment to our merchants downtown that we would have work on that street completely finished by the shopping season, and we will be able to meet that goal. Looking forward to getting that work complete. So we think you'll be very pleased with that. We think the community will as well. And then once we've completed that work with landscaping and all installed as well, we will continue to move on over toward School Street, Victoria Street, remainder of our work on Depot Street. We'll be working on that after the December 1st of the year. And then after the first of the year, we'll get more involved in Poinsett Street in its entirety, and then we'll move over to Main Street, or vice versa, depending on our encroachment permits with SCDOT. So we'll be waiting those decisions, but we'll be doing that work after the first of the year. So again, we're anticipating actually finishing up a little bit early, but we're cautiously optimistic as we may get into some rainy season after the first of the year. So we're just going to see how that goes. But that's going extremely well for us. Glad to answer any questions you may have concerning the Synergy project or any of the other activity we have at this point.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Council, as always, the administrator and or department heads, if you have questions in regards to activity there, we'll be glad to assist you with those questions. We'll move on to appointments of boards and commissions. Our election commission is in need of another member. Anna Davis, who has served on our election commission, will shortly be moving outside of the city, and so we've got a spot to fill on the election commission. Her term expires December 31st, 2024. I think Anna will be able to participate in the upcoming election. She has yet to physically move, so I do want to go ahead and get somebody to fill that position as soon as we can, though. There are no requirements in regards to diversity, but our other two commissioners are gentlemen, and so it would kind of be nice to have a lady to fill that position, so you may want to think along those lines. So if you've got somebody you would like to nominate for that position, please tell me or Tammy Duncan, and we will bring that to you in the next meeting or two.
Just as a reminder, residency is required for those positions, municipal, inside the city limits.
Council, for that, we're going to move to items of old business. We've got 3 items this evening, the first of which is the second and final reading of ordinance number 20-2018. This is an ordinance to provide for the annexation of property owned by Laverna Miller, Darlene Dawkins, Denise Barrett, and Jeffrey Thompson, located at 3006 Brushy Creek Road, and a portion of property owned by Kenneth Dawkins, located at 426 Alexander Road, by 100% petition, and to establish a zone of classification of R12 for said property. This comes as second reading. I'll entertain a motion to receive for the purpose of discussion.
Mayor, if we may, we're going to ask council to hold this matter over. Right about 4:45 this afternoon, we discovered that our city attorney had not completed review of the amendments to the text changes on this ordinance. He specifically asked us if we would hold this over, allowing him time to do a complete review, and anticipated he would have that ready for your next meeting. If that is agreeable to council, we would request that hold over until the next meeting.
Council, upon the recommendation of staff, do I hear a motion to hold second reading of number 20-2018 over?
So moved.
Have a motion. And a second. Any discussion or further questions in that regard? Hearing none, Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood?
No.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Booker?
Yes.
Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Ms. Albert? Yes. Mayor Danner?
Yes. Council, we'll move on to the second and final reading of ordinance number 33-2019. This is an ordinance to provide for the annexation of properties owned by Colum GSP 081 LP located at 557-597 Victor Hill Road by 100% petition and to establish a zoning classification of I-1 for said property. Mr. McMahon, any new or additional information in regards to this ordinance?
Yes, sir. Ordinance 33-2019 on the floor, planning commission accepted from the letter. Planning commission has made a recommendation to include the item on the zoning request. The zoning commission has signed the
Council, for the purpose of discussion, do I hear a motion to accept ordinance number 33-2019? So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Floor is open for discussion or questions of Mr. McMahon. Comments? Hearing none. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Booker?
Yes.
Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Ms. Albert? Yes. Mayor Danner?
Yes. Council, we have the second and final reading of ordinance number 35-2019. This is an ordinance to change the zoning classification of property owned by Daily Bread Ministries, Inc., located at 521 East Poinsett Street from C2 Commercial to DRD, Design Review District. Mr. McMahon, any new or additional information in regards to ordinance number 35-2019? Entertain a motion to receive. So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Floor is open for discussion. Questions? Comments? Hearing none. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Ms. Booker?
Yes.
Mr. Dumas?
Yes.
Mr. Bettis?
Yes.
Ms. Albert? Yes. Mayor Danner?
No. Thank you, sir. Council will move to items of new business, the first of which is a bid summary regarding the demolition of the Kids Planet Playground. Red Watson is with us this evening to give us an overview of the demolition process and the bid summary.
Mayor and council, appreciate the opportunity to present the results from the bid that was listed for the demolition of the Planet Playground. That includes the equipment, fencing, mulch, use like trees. We had 11 different companies attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting, and we had 3 companies that actually submitted bids. One I would note, there's an alternate that you'll see that we asked companies submitting bids to list one of the older trees there on property that list the removal of that tree and alternate. As we are consulting with an arborist and the engineer to see if it's feasible for us to try to keep that tree throughout. I think the packet that you have before you contains the bid results. Staff followed up with each of the companies that submitted bids to review information such as their references, pricing, required permitting, and licensing. It's our recommendation that the bid be awarded to Roman Pump and Tank without the alternates. They come highly recommended from Fairview Baptist Church, City of Spartanburg, City of Gadsden as well.
That is a tremendous difference there in those bids. I mean, you're looking at $100,000. But it's all comparable? Same part?
Through our follow-up conversations with each of the 3 companies that submitted bids, there were 2 different factors that kind of drove the pricing. One was the availability or maybe the ownership of somewhere to dump or to dispose of what they were doing. And some do have that availability, some do not. Another thing that we heard was that we want this work done sooner than later. I think there's a lot of work out there right now, so maybe some of the companies that submitted bids could not get through the maybe quite as soon as we wanted.
Okay.
And another item that was brought up, all of everyone's attended the mandatory pre-bid. The 2 higher bidders thought that there was going to be a substantial amount of grading involved, and when they left the site, it required a different type of license, additional permitting. And really, we're just asking someone to come in and remove the equipment and just backfill the holes that are left from the footings.
I see.
And there's really not a whole lot of grading to be performed. That would come to the next part.
I see.
How will you deal with the tree, the alternative part of it, without accepting an illness?
We will, if through our consultation with the arborist and engineers, we determine that the tree does need to come out, we'll contract that out with one of the local companies. We obtain pricing, and we can, the price that we obtain is more favorable than what we found in that. So we'll make that decision after the commission, before we break the cycle contract.
So we're just voting on the base bid tonight?
That's correct.
Well, I'll make a motion, we accept the recommendation of the base bid on Wilma's Pump and Tank.
Well, I will second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Questions? Comments? Hearing none. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood.
Yes.
Mr. Griffin.
Yes.
Ms. Booker.
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Ms. Albert.
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Council will move to the first reading of ordinance number 36-2019. This is an ordinance to provide for the annexation of property owned by Bobby Safford, located at 5204 West Wade Hampton Boulevard, by 100% petition and to establish a zoning classification of C3 for said property. Got additional information in your packet, and Mr. McMahon joins us for an overview of first reading of ordinance number 36-2019.
Mr. Thank you. Ordinance 36-2019 annexation on request for parcel 5204. The order requesting to zone that property to C3 in the environment is the park park. We are going to that property. We don't see the power from, yes.
It's not up right here.
Yeah, wait a minute, it's coming. It's up.
There we go.
It's just a very small piece of road back here. 5 acres, that's combined with that property right there. It's right there. That larger part of it's on the C3 right now. The Wayne's map shows this is the
By show of hand, is the owner of the property or representative of the owner of the property with us this evening? Record will indicate no one said so. I'll entertain a motion to receive for the purpose of discussion.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Yeah, you got the second.
Oh, you got the second.
Yeah. Floor is open for discussion or questions, council. Comments? Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood.
Yes.
Mr. Griffin.
Yes.
Ms. Booker.
Yes.
Mr. Dumas.
Yes.
Mr. Bettis.
Yes.
Ms. Albert.
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Thank you, sir. First reading of ordinance number 37-2019, an ordinance to amend the City of Greer land development regulations by amending Article 8 roadway classification and design standards, Section 8, 1A roadway classifications by adding subsection 3. Mr. Steve Granner, City Engineer, joins us this evening for an overview of ordinance number 37-2019.
Currently, our land development regulations have classifications of two types of streets and roads. One being urban residential, and the second being commercial development. These classifications specify streets, class roads, operated, right-of-way built on years, all along the road. Over the years, the city has declared that it's responsible for ownership and maintenance for roads that not fall into the category. Two specific roads are really there is a recognition of the next several years of the
vote. Since our land development regulations do not address this type of roads, we have enough background line to follow. Therefore, I contacted local traffic engineers to design guidelines for SCDOT, for the county, city of Greenville, city of Spartanburg, and Spartanburg County, and made recommendations to the city of Greer that were similar or matching the design guidelines for these types of roads. So what you have in the package is the table showing the design parameters that are selected and arterial roads that closely exactly match our neighboring counties and cities. I would note that the both text above the table also a set of columns, a set of columns there. The traffic volume, the traffic factors, classification. For example, much more than actual anomaly today. We'll use these design parameters for guidance on future improvements. You have to know that design meeting future roadway plan volume classification.
Council, questions of Mr. Green? Upon the recommendation of staff, I'll entertain a motion to receive ordinance number 37-2019.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any additional conversation in that regard or questions? Comments? Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert,
Yes.
Mayor Danner.
Yes. Mr. Driggers, any instructions or information in regards to first reading of ordinance number 38-2019?
Yes, sir. You will note that this was the amendment that we made to the preliminary agenda that was published last week. With council's permission, I would like to ask us to hold that over until after executive session so I can provide council with some additional information on that one item.
Council, since our intent is to deal with this matter in the same meeting this evening, I would suggest that we move on to executive session. We can come back to first reading of ordinance number 38-2019 after receiving additional information. I'll entertain a motion that we go into executive session for discussion regarding this matter.
So moved.
We got ahead of Lee.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we enter into executive session to discuss an economic development matter pertaining to the hotel and garage development agreement as allowed by state statute section 30-47085.
Comes as a motion. Do I hear a second? We now have a motion and a second. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert, Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, we stand in executive session. Council, in executive session, we have considered an economic development matter pertaining to the hotel and garage development agreement as allowed by state statute 30-4-7A5. We've taken no action in that regard. Do I hear a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert, Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, in our regular session, we had one matter that we needed to consider following executive session. That is the first reading of ordinance number 38-2019. This is an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a deed with regard to the Sycamore Greer LLC downtown development and other matters related thereto. I'll entertain a motion to receive ordinance number 38-2019.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any additional conversation in that regard? Hearing none. Ms. Adams?
Mr. Airwood,
Yes.
Mr. Griffin,
Yes.
Ms. Booker,
Yes.
Mr. Dumas,
Yes.
Mr. Bettis,
Yes.
Ms. Albert, Mayor Danner.
Yes. Council, you stand adjourned.